Now, you may have heard a lot about climate change, greenhouse gases, global warming, and the many competing interpretations. Our hope in this video is to explain what these phenomena are, what causes them, what the results of them are, and what we might be able to do by way of stopping them. Thanks for watching. Climate change is talked about a lot nowadays, and gets a lot of attention from the news. So, you may be a bit familiar with it, but I, for the purposes of this video, will assume that you are not. Climate change is a difference in normal weather patterns. This may include storms and a simple increase of heat, or something extreme like flooding or hurricanes that you may run from and scream. Our sun emits a lot of energy. It mainly comes to us in the form of electromagnetic radiation or rays of light. These rays of light can come in high energy or low energy and are absorbed or reflected by the Earth. High energy rays are ultraviolet rays, and low energy are visible light that we can see. Here on this chart you can see the wavelengths for each. Now, these high energy photons sound dangerous, right? And they are. Luckily, in our atmosphere, at the top of the stratosphere, we have something called the ozone layer, made of 3 bonded oxygen. This ozone really likes to trap that ultraviolet light, letting the harmless visible light pass through, where its heat is either absorbed or reflected by our Earth. A greenhouse gas is a molecule that traps this heat that should be reflected. These include carbon dioxide, which is a carbon atom and 2 oxygen atoms bonded, as well as other fun ones, such as tetrafluoroethylene, which is 2 carbon atoms and 4 fluorine atoms bonded together. Here's how it is written. Now, these are a problem because they absorb too much heat, and it gets hotter and hotter on the globe when there's more of them in the atmosphere. Now, if these gases were the villains, this next one is a supervillain. Yes, H2O, our friendly water vapor, is a very potent greenhouse gas. The problem with having all these greenhouse gases in the atmosphere is that, well, yes, they do heat things, and do heat the poles. When the poles melt, they release more water into the oceans, which can absorb even more heat. This is a positive feedback loop, and the globe just gets hotter and hotter and hotter, especially with water vapor. Now here's the scary part. Data has shown that humans are emitting a lot of these greenhouse gases, specifically CO2. This is from the fossil fuels in transportation, cattle and agriculture, industry, and our electricity generation, specifically from fossil fuels. The globe is indeed heating, and it's our fault. Now, there are conspiracy theories that global warming is a hoax. These are, however, incorrect. They're either based on cherry-picking data, which means you take certain data that goes with your point and ignore the rest. They're reading charts wrong, or they are either completely ignorant to the data, or simply looking at old charts. You can learn more about this here and here, but I will not have much time to talk about it in this video, and I think we can accept that global warming is real. Now, humans have caused the latest global warming, but we do not emit the most greenhouse gases. The ocean and the land emit a lot more, but they absorb what they emit. We just don't do that. We're the straw on the camel's back. Now, I'm not saying that a terrible apocalypse will break out, but it would be best if we avoid global warming. For instance, sea levels will rise, ocean acidity will rise, animals will be confused, there will be worse storms, and cows and plants need to be outside, and they can't be if it's too hot. However, in the worst case is something called cancellation of thermohaline circulation, which is how oxygen gets around. Now, here are some charts about our emission of greenhouse gas, and what kinds we mainly emit. As you can see, carbon dioxide is above all. There must be a solution. What can it be? It has to be cost efficient, energy efficient, and environmental. Now, we do have wind power, hydropower, and nuclear power, but they all have issues that we'd rather not bother with. There's the theoretical idea of people power generated by people walking on pressure pads in the ground. There's also solar energy on highways, and the most exciting, nuclear fusion like is being done at ITER. At ITER, they're trying to create or recreate the process undergone by stars. This is how stars form. There's immense amounts of energy when plasma fuses hydrogen into, among other things, helium. They're using magnets to do this with plasma. Elon Musk is one of the figureheads for clean energy. He is the owner of the Tesla Motor Company. Teslas are electric, and hence good for the environment in that they cut down on how much fossil fuels is emitted. He's also building a gigafactory to help with the construction of such Teslas. Global warming might not be the end of the world, but it certainly is bad for it. It's our job now to stop it from progressing.